We're halfway through the year, so these are my top 10 movies of the year to date. First off, if you're new to this channel, please make sure to like and subscribe for future movie rankings. Now, of course, like everyone, my list changes daily with new releases or just rewatches that help movies climb higher on my list. Also, there are a few minor spoilers for some of these movies. So without further ado, let's get into my ranking. Now before that, I do have one honorable mention that almost made my top 10, and that's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I really liked this movie, especially the insane moments like the submarine sequence and the dual plane sequence. But the only thing that lowers this film for me is that there's a tad bit too much exposition, which was added for new fans that didn't watch part 1. Overall, it's still a great honorable mention though, and I'm excited to rewatch it. Now officially in my top 10, at number 10 I have Predator: Killer of Killers. This was a streaming release that dropped straight to Hulu and takes place in the Predator franchise. It was an anthology series with 3 distinct stories and 3 distinct predators, set in different time periods. And I loved that at the end of the film, all 3 stories connected. It had superb action, different fighting styles, cool characters, cool predator gadgets, and that ending made me so excited for what's coming next. At number 9, I have Warfare, and this film follows a surveillance mission gone wrong for a platoon of American Navy SEALs in Iraq. And this movie felt so real, raw, and grounded. I felt scared of thinking how real this could become, and I was on the edge of my seat. Coming in at number 8, I have Final Destination: Bloodlines. Now, I'm a huge fan of this franchise, so I was nervous on how they would tackle this new installment, but they absolutely nailed it. The deaths were iconic, especially the MRI sequence in the opening, which is probably my favorite opening in the franchise. It takes place at a Skyview Tower restaurant and it's so creative. This is a true horror franchise that got revived the right way, and I'm excited to see what comes next. At number 7, I have Thunderbolts. The MCU was revived once more with this film, and I was in awe on how they turned these anti-heroes into lovable characters that we rooted for. I do wish we got more action sequences, but I really loved the ones we did get, especially that sentry sequence. Yelena Belova was by far my favorite character in the film. She really became a leader and grew into her own, and to the antithesis, Sentry was formidable, and I had no clue how this team would beat him. But it was amazing to behold. At number 6, I have Novocaine. Now this might be the movie that I've rewatched the most this year. It's about a guy who has the inability to feel pain, but he turns that into his greatest superpower when the girl of his dreams is taken. This movie had a twist that I did not see coming, and the performances from Jack Quaid and Amber Midthunder were great. And the action was great, as well as some scenes also made me feel squeamish, because even though the main character doesn't feel pain, we feel his pain. Now into the top 5, I have the How to Train Your Dragon live action film. Now I'm really picky about live action adaptations, especially because I prefer when the film follows the original animated film, but adds new scenes that enhance the story. And that's exactly what this movie did. It captured the essence of the original film, and the film looked beautiful in live action. The CGI was incredible, especially on Toothless, and Mason Thames and Nico Parker were perfect as Hiccup and Astrid. At number 4, I have Ballerina. Now, I'm a huge fan of the John Wick franchise, so I was eager but cautious to see this film, but it was marvelous. From the characters to the action, it was so John Wick coded. Ana de Armas did an excellent job, and my favorite sequences definitely involved the flamethrower, as it added so much tension. And it truly felt like a true John Wick spin-off, as John Wick himself even appears and has his own action scene, which helps expand this universe. Now into my top 3, I have F1, and this might be my biggest surprise of the year because I had no idea it would be this good. Brad Pitt as Sonny Hayes was amazing, and Damson Idris as Joshua Pierce was electric. The racing sequences were stunning, and watching this on a premium screen made me feel like I was right there on the track. The director, Joseph Kosinski, is amazing. He already did Air with Top Gun Maverick, Land with F1, and I need to see him do a water movie next. Coming in at number 2, I have Sinners. This was a full cinematic event. Michael B. Jordan definitely leveled up and gave the performance of a lifetime, but the entire cast was phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of vampire stories, so having that as part of a movie that also dealt with themes like cultural appropriation and the impact of white supremacy on Black culture was a plus. You could make a whole movie just discussing this movie alone. And that one sequence in the middle of the movie where we see the evolution of Black culture and music was amazing. My jaw was on the floor. But at number 1, I have Superman. This was my most anticipated film of the year, and for it to be number 1 and exceed my expectations is an achievement on its own. The performances were incredible, David Corenswet as Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. All three nailed it, and it felt like the animated series or comics brought to life. Superman radiated kindness, Lois was a brilliant journalist, and Lex was deliciously evil. Also, Mr. Terrific really lived up to his name, and the Justice Gang was hilarious, especially Guy Gardner. And the message that kindness is power was beautiful, and it's exactly the message that we need today. I hope more people discover this film and keep spreading the word. I loved it so much. So those are my top 10 movies of the year so far. I'm really excited to see which ones stay and which movies break into this list as the year goes on. Let me know down below your top 10 favorite movies of the year, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more rankings. Also follow me on Instagram at Movies with Juan for more behind the scenes fun, and as always, keep watching.